In the book of Exodus, God gives his people very clear instructions as he is preparing to deliver them from Egypt. Clear instructions on the Passover meal that they are to observe and to eat. The Passover lamb, the blood on the doorposts, the promise that the Passover angel is coming, and the firstborn in all homes that do not have the blood are going to be lost. Part of the clear instructions to God's people regarding the Passover meal was that they were to do this so that the deliverance that they were about to experience, they would never forget what God had done for them. And so even after they were rescued and delivered out of Egypt, they were to again and again and again participate in the Passover meal, sharing it with one another, passing it along from generation to generation, the great news of God's deliverance, his power and his hand at work in their lives. We fast forward to the New Testament, and Jesus is in the upper room, participating in a Passover meal with his disciples. And while he is having that meal with his disciples, he takes some of the unleavened bread and he gives it to his disciples, and he gives them the instructions. Take and eat this bread. It represents my body, which is broken for you. Then he takes the cup, the wine, and he says, take this and drink. This represents my blood, which is shed for you. And again, Jesus did this because he wanted his disciples, and he wanted all of us to remember the sacrifice that he was about to make on the cross. That he was now the sacrificial Passover lamb. That through his broken body and his blood, just as God's people in the Old Testament were delivered from Egypt, now you and I are delivered from the captivity of sin through Jesus Christ and through the grace of God. And the key is remembering. Just as God wanted to make sure that his people never forgot the deliverance that he gave them from Egypt, Jesus wanted to make sure that his disciples, that all who are his disciples, never forget the sacrifice and the price that was paid at Calvary through his broken body, through his blood, for our forgiveness. And that's why as a church, every Lord's Day, we come together. We partake of the Lord's Supper. We take the bread, we take the juice, his broken body, his blood, and we remember what Jesus did for us on the cross. And in that, we proclaim his death until his return. See, it's so easy for us to forget. Take 5 today and on Friday are about not forgetting, about remembering. Remembering what God has done for us through his Son, Jesus Christ. On Friday, I'm going to sit down and talk with someone who was in law enforcement and was there on September 11th, 2001, seeing what took place there, how God worked through that, and again, the fact that we cannot forget. We are to remember. Remember not only what has taken place in our country, but more importantly, what has taken place in our lives through the grace and the power of Jesus Christ.